Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the first lecture of the online course Introduction to Interaction Design. I am Dr. Sonal Atre, Assistant Professor in the Department of Design at IIT Roorkee, and I will be the course instructor. When we think of interaction, so we think of communication, and human beings have the innate requirement of communication. So there are many other species as well who communicate, but probably human beings are the only species which have developed the interactions and communication to such a degree that today we can communicate with somebody sitting on the other end of the globe as well. So similarly, we also interact with a lot of products on a daily basis, and we will in this course try to understand that how can we design better interactive products for the users. So we will take an example from our daily life when we come in contact with the hundreds of products, and some of them are designed by craftsmen, some by designers, some by engineers, and they all serve very different purposes. But we enjoy interacting or using some of these products, and some of these products do not really appeal too much to us. So one of the reasons for that is that whether we feel connected to the products or not, whether they are desirable from that point of view for us. Now let us try to understand that when we say that we need to improve the interaction of the product, what it means in the physical realm of products or the tangible products that we say. So here we can see that this man has been given a task to break the stones into smaller pieces. So now when we say interaction, we will probably think of the axe that he is using, but there are several other factors, and we have to look at the holistic picture in order to determine that how the interaction can be improved. So we can see that the first probably the step would be to see whether he is healthy, his body is healthy and he is not suffering from any major ailments. Another is his environment where he is working, whether it is conducive to his work, especially when one is working in the outside environment, what is the weather condition like. Third is of course the tool that he is using, in this particular case the hammer, and then the length of the hammer, the weight of the hammer, how precise it is, it will all affect the outcome of this man. And finally the cognitive process of this man. So what is going on in his mind? Is he worried about something? Is he thinking of some other thing while he is working here? So all of those things need to be considered in order to design a better system overall for us to be able to improve the outcome of this exercise. So similarly we can see in the area of digital communication. Now if this is an website that I am browsing to purchase, for example, a bicycle, so you can see that how the information has been spread really haphazardly on the website, and it will probably be very challenging for me to locate, identify a particular bicycle. And on top of that, if I need to compare it with some other bicycles or check its features, I may have to spend a lot of time figuring out where to locate that particular button icon, so that I can continue researching or further exploring this particular product. Now a view that we took of the previous example where the man was breaking the stones, so some of those points probably will not be applicable in the same sense as it was in the previous example. But here also what will be more important is that how easily one can identify the items that they are trying to find, and also what kind of a cognitive load is being subjected. So here it means that how difficult or easy would it be for one to achieve the aim that they initially intended to achieve. So, what is interaction and why does it matter in design? So, interaction design is a multidisciplinary field that focuses on design of interactions for human use with the computers, and over time human computer interaction or HCI has expanded not just from the computers, but now to the overall information technology area. So, it has sort of embedded itself into our lives, and it becomes important to ask that how will this interaction be improved, or we can also say that how do we optimize the user's interaction with a system or a interactive product. So, there are several ways to do it. Now, first we need to know that how people act and react during some events. So, like we saw the earlier example that we like some products, we dislike some products. So, what is it that makes a person react to something positively or negatively? So, what are those attributes that will make me want to use the product again or make me want to just reject the product? The second point is that what are people good and bad at? So, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. So, how can this interaction that we are designing, how can that enhance the strengths, and how can it also help one to overcome the weaknesses? So, the weak areas can also be strengthened. And finally is getting people involved in the design. So, of course, without people, without their input, this whole exercise would be incomplete. So, we need to involve them from the initial stage so that we are able to identify the problems so that we can come up with possible solutions. Now, a goal of interaction design we can say is that ultimately we want to create very engaging, immersive user experience for the users. And for that to happen, we want to and we need to understand that how emotions work. So, we all are emotional people. So, we feel affectionate towards our family, our friends, our pets. We also feel emotionally attached to even some inanimate objects. So, they may be lifeless objects, but they still may hold a lot of emotional value that we can't get rid of them. For example, a grandfather's watch or a chair. So, we can see that even products can bring out that feeling in us, and these feelings of emotion have many ways that we bond with them. Few of them are that the product is aesthetically pleasing. So, whether it is visually pleasing. So, whether if it is visually pleasing, it will make the product probably more desirable for us to use. So, here for example, we can see on the screen that there is this juicer by LSC, and it may not be the most functional or utilitarian product, but it is very aesthetically pleasing, and that really people enjoy purchasing and keeping it on display. And similarly, this website next to it is a very simple, minimalistic, clean website where one can easily identify and find their way around, and it makes their work very simple, and they probably would want to go back to this website because it saves their time and it is very efficient. And also how the product, what is its story, how does it fit into the human experience, because we all have a story, and if the product can speak to us in the language we understand, then it makes a very good bond between the two of us. It could be a digital or a physical product. And finally, we also cannot ignore the business side of it. How will it be marketed? How will it be manufactured? Which particular process we will be using to design it? Will it fail? How can we ensure it does not fail? So, all those things are also important. How can we ensure it reaches a lot of people? It is accepted by a lot of people. So, all those are also goals of interaction design. So when we think of a good interactive product, so many companies and products probably come to our mind. So one of them is Apple, and Apple is known to come up with products that are aesthetic, that is visually pleasing, and they're also very functional. And at the same time, the company also ensures to offer a very positive experience to the users, as we can see in the image, that at the store, Apple store, the users are exploring the product, they are checking out the functions, and they are free to play around with the products. So it will also help them identify the best product for them, that which one will best work for their requirement. And similarly, we can see that how Apple also caters to people from all types of preferences. And the iPod on the right, we can see that how many different color variants are available, that people with different personalities or different preferences can pick one for themselves. So, who is involved in interaction design? So, who are those people who come up with these interactive products and services? Now, this is of course not a one man job, it will be a teamwork, and depending on the problem, the size of the problem, the domain of the problem, so the team members will vary. So, for example, if we are working to design a healthcare application, so in that case, we will need a graphic and interaction designer, software engineers for coding, and maybe some AI experts who can design an app which can predict certain things. Then we will need healthcare professionals who can guide that what needs to be solved, what needs to be found out, what could be the solution, and so on. And also somebody from the background of ergonomics if we are dealing with, say, a physical issue or a physical health related product application. Now, what is human computer interaction? So, like we have discussed, that human computer interaction is how we can design better interactive products for the user or the consumer, the man, so that he is able to communicate effectively with the computer. And there are several ways in which HCI can improve these interactions that humans will have with the product. So, HCI can increase the efficiency by enabling very intuitive and simple ways of communication between the computer and the human. So, this will also save time, and it will also so resulting in a very efficient output or productive output. HCI also enhances the user satisfaction. So, when we create immersive and engaging scenarios or situations for people where they sort of maybe lose time, they forget how much time they have spent. So, that will provide happiness, and that will ensure that we have a loyal customer, loyal consumer, and he will come back maybe for another product also in the future. HCI also can support accessibility to ensure that the product has a wider reach, that a lot of people from all walks of life are able to benefit from it, and especially people with impairments, and also people who have maybe some where they need some help with their technical skills. HCI also can help in safety by ensuring that the instructions that are given to the user through the interface, so they are very clear and simple, and so that there is less chance of making any type of an error by the person who is using it. And finally, HCI also drives innovation by ensuring that we come up with more technologically enhanced products which will help improve this interaction. So, we can see that how human computer interaction has a big role to play in our lives, and designers are constantly striving to come up with better improved interactions. So let us take a quick look at a little bit of the history of interaction design. So the first computer was the ENIAC, which is the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. So this was developed during the Second World War, and it was ready by 1945. And this was a very large computer, so it took a huge space, and a lot of power was required to uh, to power it up. And it was not similar to, of course, the computers that we have today, where we program them in a certain way, but this particular one had to be programmed using the plug boards. So it was a manual, you know, communication with the device, wherein if a new task had to be undertaken, then it would take maybe several hours, or it could also take days, because it was kind of a tedious task. Now, the purpose of ENIAC mainly was in the area of ballistics. So, since the World War was going on, so there was a need to find the trajectory of the various weapons, because the trajectory is determined by many factors like wind speed and environmental factors. So this exercise till now was being done manually, and tables were being made by hand. So now this computer really helped them come up with the ballistic tables very quickly. So it made the whole system very fast. Second World War was actually also in a way quite helpful in introducing us to interaction design, because when the war was going on, a lot of focus came on to the human being, on the person, because all these machines were now operated by human beings. They were not automatic at that time. Then certain kind of training was required to operate these highly complex at that time weaponry. And now cognition also became important, because a person is handling a very tough equipment, and how much cognitive load is on his mind, like we discussed in the earlier example. So all of these led to later on the refinement of these products and development of control panels and other complex machines and military equipment. And the human computer interaction, this particular term became popular only in the 1980s, but we can see that how this research or this area had was being explored from quite early on. Now, Ivan Sutherland is considered to be the creator of 3D AutoCAD graphical interface, and he is the one who sort of gave us an insight into the area such as visual simulation and also virtual reality, which is quite common nowadays. And his PhD was on the area of Sketchpad, wherein the commands that were given to the computer could now be given by sketching on this sketchpad, and this made this work very easy. Then there were many other applications of it as well, wherein for electrical connections, some mechanical parts, this particular technology was used, because this also helped understand the linkages and other connections very easily with the help of the light pen that was used to write on the sketch pad. And it was also very easy to now sketch and maybe delete things, because if everything is done manually, then of course erasing it or then starting from scratch takes a lot of time, but here it made the process very quick. So he's one of the major pioneers of this area. So if we see the evolution of interaction design, so of course technology has had to a big contribution of technology, because of which now we have so many interactive products. But we can see that initially we had a batch age. So batch age was when the command was communicated as a batch, and there was then no interaction between the human and the system, and then the response was received. Then later, as we progressed in the timeline, we came to command line interaction age. This was the age when a command prompt was given to the system and the system would respond, and then the person would again give a command, and so on and so forth. Next came the graphical user interface. So now we were interacting with some kind of a graphical interface, and here, like for example, clicking the mouse and how long it takes to give the feedback, how slow is it. So the minute I click, will it instantly work on the command, or will it take some time, some lag will be there. So this was the time when the graphical interfaces were used. Next we had the internet age. In fact, we are living in that internet age, and thanks to the internet we all are connected, and we are progressing quite quickly, because now we are able to connect with a lot of people, lot of services, and it's helping out the society in a big way. And here it allowed us to sort of interact with system in a more positive manner. It allowed us to be mobile, and also get more immersive experiences. In the interaction age, which was around 2019 onwards, here there was a lot of more focus on interactive products and interaction between humans and computers, and AR, VR, all these technologies came up, and in order to provide us all with a better experience. And finally, the AI or artificial intelligence age, wherein now we have all these artificial intelligence languages like deep learning and machine learning, so which sort of are an extension of the human, so they can take over some of the work that the human is doing. So that is the present and the future. Now if we see the advancements in the human computer interaction since 1960, so we can see that in the beginning 1950s to probably 70s 80s, it was the mainframe era. Now in this mainframe era, the computer systems were quite huge, quite large, and they used to occupy a lot of space, like we saw the ENIAC earlier, and they were generally a central facility in an institute, and they were not on any network. So multiple users would come and use it in their time slots, and this was generally used for purposes like inventory preparation or payroll calculations. So it was very powerful, but individuals could not own one system each. But in 1980s it became possible when we had the personal computer era, and now the computers were very affordable, and they were the interface was very user friendly. So this allowed people to do their work more efficiently. We also had many softwares that came up during this time, like for example Word, Excel that we use nowadays, which helped, or maybe their versions, which helped compute large problems easily and make the lives simpler. Then in 2000s we saw the mobility era or the mobile era, wherein with the advent of internet, now almost everybody had a mobile phone in their hands. So we did not have to be attached to the cord in order to use internet, but now we could move around. We had GPS, we can find locations easily, we can be somewhere on time and so on. Also a lot of wearable technologies also came along, like health watches and other things, fall fall detectors to see whether elderly may fall and if they would need some medical assistance. So, this is currently the life we are living, and then is the ubiquitous era. In this era, it is the era of IoT, Internet of Things. How now we are not just connected with each other, but we are also even our homes are connected with our cell phone. We can control our fans, lights, even when we are not around, and not just our homes but also large infrastructures like even smart cities or intelligent transportation systems. So, they all are now connected, and they are uh, we are moving leaps and bounds in terms of the advancement in the interaction that we are seeing around us. So, if we see a simple example, here we can see the evolution of interaction in telephone devices, and we can see how initially the telephones were they came equipped with the rotatory dial, and later, of course, identifying the problem of or challenges that what if you miss a number or dial a wrong number, then you have to repeat the exercise again, or many other problems probably. Then we had the touch tone telephone, which was later replaced by the cordless telephone, which allowed people to now move around while they talked, and also mobile telephones now, where on the screen we could see who is calling us, so a caller ID. And this also was a very accessible product, the cordless phone as well as the mobile technology, that now people, maybe somebody in a wheelchair or somebody who is unable to climb up the steps, now they can also use the phone. And finally, the telephones with touch interactive screens, where now we do not even need to press the button or dial in order to call somebody. We can also see that another product that we use quite often is the remote control in our homes, and we can see that how over the times even remote control has really changed its shape and the way it performs, and that has made it a very utility oriented product. So, in the beginning, the remote, earlier probably there were no remotes when we had black and white TVs, so we had to, I am giving the example of TV, but it is applicable in maybe other devices as well. So, wherein we had to physically operate the TV, but then came the remotes with which had wires, so they were little bit more cumbersome, and then we had the IR technology, infrared technology, with the help of which from a distance we could operate the remote. And however, very less thought was given on how the buttons are organized, what is the color that has been given to them, how close or at what distance are they placed from each other. So, that was also getting refined slowly alongside, and then we came with the radio frequency remote controls. Now, they were even better at their performance. And finally, now we can see that we do not even need to press a button in order to operate something. We can actually through our voice, we can turn on, turn off TV or give any command. There is also gesture that allows people to give commands with their gesture, and we also have now Alexa and all these other voice operated services, which really help people who for them it's easier to give a voice based command, it is faster as well. So, today we saw that a little bit of the background of interaction design, what is the role of the design team, and a little bit about how it started, what prompted the HCI as we see it now. And so, we will stop here today, and in the next lecture we will continue discussing some of these topics further. We will see some of the pioneers of the area of design, and we will continue this discussion. So, I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.